Welcome back to the Audacity of Him. Today we're serving up a steaming hot plate of shattered ego, garnished with burning rubber and a side of absolute humiliation. Let's set the scene. The place is the Apex, a legendary biker cafe nestled at the base of the Widowmaker, a ribbon of pristine, winding mountain tarmac famous for testing the mettle of riders across the state. It's a Sunday morning, the sun is shining, and the air smells like high-octane fuel and expensive leather. Sitting alone at a corner cafe, quietly sipping an espresso, is Elena. To the casual observer, Elena looks just like another weekend enthusiast enjoying the weather. Her bike is entirely matte black, stripped of all manufacturer badges, mirrors folded in. It looks menacing, sure, but it doesn't scream factory-backed. What the casual observers, and specifically the men strutting around the parking lot, don't know is that Elena's last name is Vance, as in Elena the Eclipse Vance, two-time MotoGP World Champion, the woman who routinely drags her elbow on the asphalt at 130 miles per hour while making the greatest male racers on the planet look like they're stuck in second gear. Today is her day off. She is deep undercover in generic gear, just wanting to enjoy a quiet canyon carve without being asked for autographs. But the universe, in its infinite comedic wisdom, has other plans. Uh-oh, here he comes. It's our boy Noah. Noah arrives at the cafe not by pulling in, but by assaulting the eardrums of everyone within a 3-mile radius. He rev bombs a family walking a golden retriever before aggressively backing his violently neon green, excessively customized superbike into the premier parking spot. Noah is a motorcycle bro in its purest, most toxic form. His racing leathers are pristine, blindingly colorful, and clearly have never touched the pavement. He has a tinted visor he refuses to lift, even in the shade. But the most telling detail? His tires. He has chicken strips so wide you could deep fry them and serve them with a side of ranch. For the uninitiated, chicken strips are the unused, pristine edges of a motorcycle tire. They prove, unequivocally, that despite the loud exhaust and the Power Ranger outfit, Noah does not actually lean his bike over in the corners. He is a straight-line hero, a traffic light warrior. Noah swaggers over to the coffee stand, buys an energy drink, and immediately scans the crowd for an audience. His eyes land on Elena, who is quietly wiping a smudge off her visor. He sees a woman. He sees a plain black bike. He sees an opportunity to assert dominance. "Nice little starter bike," Noah says, his voice dripping with unearned condescension, nodding at her custom-tuned 220 horsepower track weapon. "A bit heavy for a girl, though, isn't it? You sure you can muscle that thing through the twisties?" Elena doesn't blink. She takes a slow sip of her espresso. "It gets me from A to B." Noah chuckles, a sound that resembles a dying goose. "Yeah, well, the Widowmaker up ahead isn't your average commute, sweetheart. It takes real aggressive input to navigate those apexes. The female center of gravity just isn't built for high-speed cornering. It's simple biology. You guys just inherently lack the risk assessment processing required for real speed." Elena's internal monologue is currently a montage of her popping champagne on podiums in Monaco, Mugello, and Silverstone. But on the outside, she plays it beautifully. "Wow," Elena says, her voice trembling with mock awe. "I never knew that. Is it the estrogen that makes me brake too early?" "Exactly," Noah says, entirely missing the sarcasm, puffing his chest out. "It's a preservation instinct. But hey, stick to the speed limit, keep it upright, and you'll be fine. Maybe one day you can ride pillion with me and I'll show you how a real man attacks a canyon." Elena finishes her espresso. The ceramic cup clinks against the saucer. She stands up, and though she's 5'7", The aura she projects suddenly makes Noah look very, very small. Tell you what, Noah, Elena says smoothly. I'm a visual learner. Why don't you show me how a real man attacks the canyon right now? First one to the summit lookout point. Noah laughs out loud. A race? Against you? Babe, I don't want to be responsible for you low sliding into a ditch because you tried to keep up with me. Don't worry, Elena smirks. If I fall, it's my fault. But let's make this interesting. If I beat you to the summit, you have to stream an apology on your Instagram live. And when I win, Noah counters, grinning lecherously, I'll wash your bike, by hand, in front of the whole cafe. Noah's eyes light up. Deal. Prepare to eat my dust, sweetheart. The Widowmaker is a 10-mile stretch of asphalt that climbs 3,000 feet. It has exactly 64 turns. Some are wide, sweeping carousels. Some are brutally tight hairpins flanked by sheer rock faces on one side and a terrifying drop onto the valley floor on the other. It is not a road for the arrogant. It is a road that demands respect. They pull up to the stop sign at the base of the mountain. Noah is revving his engine so hard the chassis is vibrating. He's looking over at Elena, making throat-slashing gestures. Elena is completely still. Her posture has changed. The relaxed, casual rider is gone. She is now locked into the machine. Noah dumps the clutch. His neon green monstrosity lurches forward, the rear tires spinning and smoking as he relies entirely on his bike's traction to control him from looping it. He rockets down the half-mile opening straightaway like a bat out of hell, his exhaust echoing off the canyon walls. Elena, she rolls off the line smoothly. No drama, no wheel spin. She short shifts through the first 3 gears, her body tucked perfectly behind the minimal windshield. For the first mile, Noah feels like a god. He glances in his mirrors. He can't even see her. He smirks inside his helmet. Stupid girl, he thinks. Probably pulled over to cry. But then the straightaway ends, and the corners begin. Noah approaches turn 1, a decreasing radius left-hander. Because Noah only understands straight-line speed, his corner entry is a disaster. He grabs a handful of front brake, upsetting the bike's suspension. He turns his shoulders, but not his hips. He fights the handlebars, muscling the heavy, stretched bike through the turn. He crosses the double yellow line by a foot, surviving only by sheer dumb luck. As he clunkily shifts back up, he hears something, a sound he wasn't expecting. It's a low, predatory, mechanical howl, and it's right behind him. Elena hasn't just caught up, she has materialized. While Noah was fighting the physics of his motorcycle, Elena was dancing with them. She didn't use the brakes entering turn 1, she simply rolled off the throttle, rev-matched a downshift, and leaned. Noah panics. He pins the throttle on the next short straight, using his bike's massive horsepower to put 50 yards between them. Not today, he screams into his helmet. But the straights on the Widowmaker are short, and the corners are relentless. Welcome to the clinic. Elena is now firmly attached to Noah's rear tire. She isn't passing him yet. She's hunting. She's studying his terrible lines, his erratic braking points, his complete lack of throttle control. Through a right-hand sweeper, Noah is leaned over, maybe 20 degrees, sparking his oversized exhaust pipe on the ground because his suspension is set to factory mush. He thinks he's pushing the absolute limit. Behind him, Elena yawns. The tension is skyrocketing. Noah is now riding entirely in his mirrors. He is terrified. Every time he looks back, the matte black bike is perfectly positioned, a silent phantom haunting his every mistake. The pressure is cracking him. He's sweating profusely. His forearms are pumping with lactic acid because he's strangling the handlebars in a death grip. They approach the midway point, a sequence of brutal back-to-back S-curves known as the Serpent's Teeth. Noah enters the first right-hander far too hot. He target fixates on the guardrail. His bike drifts wide. He slams on the rear brake, fishtailing the heavy machine. He manages to save it, heart hammering in his chest, and tries to flick the bike left for the second part of the S-curve. But Elena is already there. She dives up the inside. It's a move of absolute breathtaking precision. She trail brakes perfectly to the apex, compressing her front forks, giving her front tire maximum grip. As she passes him, they are inches apart. Noah is struggling to keep his bike upright. Elena is leaned over so far her knee slider is skimming the asphalt, kicking up a tiny trail of white dust. And in that fraction of a second, as she glides past him on the inside, Elena does the unthinkable. She waves! At 100 miles an hour, at a 45-degree lean angle, dragging her knee, she waves. Noah's brain short-circuits. The sheer audacity of the move, the absolute biological impossibility of it in his tiny misogynistic mind causes him to freeze. He rolls completely off the throttle and just watches, paralyzed, as the matte black superbike stands up out of the corner and vanishes up the mountain like a missile. For the final 3 miles, Elena rides an absolute masterclass. She connects the corners like poetry. She isn't even pushing past 80% of her capability, but she crosses the summit line a full 2 minutes before Noah even comes into view. At the summit lookout, a crowd of about 30 riders has gathered. They are all staring at Elena, who has parked her bike, removed her helmet, and is calmly checking her phone. A minute and a half later, Noah arrives. Noah dismounts. His legs are trembling. He walks toward Elena, his eyes wide. The bravado is completely, utterly gone. "What?" he stammers, gasping for breath. "What are you? How did you? I was redlining. You passed me on the inside of the Serpent. You waved." Elena locks her phone and slides it into her pocket. She looks at him with an expression of mild pity. "I told you, Noah," she says, her voice loud enough for the gathered crowd to hear. "I just don't have that female preservation instinct. Must be the estrogen." Suddenly, a voice rings out from the crowd. A guy in a Yamaha paddock jacket points a trembling finger at her. Holy shit! You're Elena Vance! You're the Eclipse!" A collective gasp echoes across the summit. The murmurs erupt into excited shouting. People are pulling out their phones. "Wait," Noah whispers, the color completely draining from his already pale face. "Elena Vance? The MotoGP champion?" Elena smiles, a genuine, blindingly confident smile. She reaches into her jacket and pulls out her phone, tapping the screen a few times before holding it out to him. "That's me," she says. "Now, I believe we had a bet. The Wi-Fi up here is surprisingly good. Open Instagram, Noah. The people want to hear your biology lecture." And so, to his meager 300 followers and the 30 roaring bikes at the summit, Noah delivered the most painful apology of his life. He admitted that a woman beat him. He admitted that his chicken strips were a lifestyle choice. And, most importantly, he admitted that when it comes to the twisties, it's not about what's between your legs. It's about the skill in your hands and the courage in your chest. Elena Vance rode back down the mountain, her incognito day slightly ruined, but her soul undoubtedly nourished by the destruction of a fragile ego. As for Noah, rumor has it he sold the neon green superbike and has bought a sensible automatic scooter. We can only hope. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you never judge a rider by their gender and never, ever challenge a quiet stranger in a biker cafe. You might just be challenging the reigning champion of the world. If you loved seeing Noah get exactly what he deserved, you know what to do. Smash that like button. Hit it harder than Noah hit the brakes in turn 1. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss a story, and drop a comment below. Have you ever encountered a Noah in the wild? Let me know. Until next time, keep your ego in check, keep your rubber on the road, and always remember, beware the audacity of him.